Hello and welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports. It is time for 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 14 of the fantasy football season. It always gets harder to navigate that waiver wire as the season progresses. I think there's some good options out there this week, though, especially at receiver. Running back's position, not so much. A lot of people have Blake Corum on their list for this week for waiver wire pickups, but he's owned on more than 50% of leagues on our site. So I am not including him here. We have a lot of savvy fantasy owners here on RealTime Fantasy Sports. So Corum is owned on most of the teams, most of the leagues on our site. So I'm going to give you a good group of receivers that I think could help, and then a tight end and a quarterback as well. My first waiver wire pickup for this week is Adonai Mitchell of the New York Jets, owned on 8.5% of leagues on our site. Mitchell really showed last week his immense talent, caught 8 passes for 102 yards and a touchdown on 12 targets. So he got a ton of looks. His numbers haven't been great since getting traded to the Jets, but he does have 25 targets in 3 games. I think he could be starting to produce a lot better down the stretch if he can get on the same page with Tyrod Taylor. He does have some problems with drops, but he's also super talented. You can see why he was such a high draft pick for the Indianapolis Colts. If he can get it together and build on his big game from week 13, he could be a problem for opposing defenses the rest of the season. My next pickup is another receiver. It's Vele of the New Orleans Saints, another guy that was traded. He's owned on just 2% of leagues on our site. Vele is really emerging as the number 2 receiver in the Saints passing game opposite Chris Olave. He had a huge game week 13, caught 8 passes for 93 yards. He topped 20 fantasy points in that game. He has 15 targets his last 2 games, though, so he's getting a lot more looks. The Saints offense is playing better as well. I think he could be a contributor down the stretch for fantasy teams if you have to use him on a spot play basis. He's not going to be a huge fantasy producer, but his floor could be decent because he's getting a lot of weekly looks. My last receiver I'm targeting this week is Isaac TeSlaa of the Detroit Lions, owned on 7.5% of leagues on our site. The big reason is Amon-Ra St. Brown is likely out a few weeks because of an ankle injury. This means TeSlaa is set for a bigger role in a high-powered Lions offense. TeSlaa scored a touchdown last week. He has 3 for the season. He has some fantasy potential for the Lions the rest of the way. Explosive offense. He's a good red zone target as well. I think he could be my top pickup for the entire week because of his ceiling. So I think TeSlaa is definitely worth grabbing if you're looking for a receiver in week 14. My next pickup is a tight end, and it's actually a guy that's made this list. This is now 3 straight weeks, but he is still owned on fewer than 50% of leagues on our site, and it's Brenton Strange of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's owned on 48.3% of leagues on our site. I'm guessing he gets over 50% this week because he scored a touchdown in the game in week 13. It was his first touchdown of the season. I think it's the last time you're going to be able to grab him. Like I mentioned, he has 13 plus fantasy points, 2 straight games since returning from his hip injury. He's been pretty consistent all year when he's been playing. Jags offense is looking a lot better as well. So if you need a tight end, go get Brenton Strange. My last pickup for this week is Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. He's owned on 47.5% of leagues on our site. You're looking for a quarterback and you want to take a chance, I might give Young a shot. He's kind of been all over the map this year, but last week was really encouraging for me. He beat a very good Rams team, threw for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns without a turnover. He has 24 plus fantasy points, 2 of 3 games. He is on a bye this week, so keep that in mind. You can't use him this week. But if you're looking for maybe some spot starters the rest of the way after week 14, Young could be a guy you could get away with using with the way he's produced in recent weeks. All right, those are 5 of my fantasy waiver wire pickups for week 14 of the fantasy football season. Good luck navigating those waiver wires this week. Hope you have a lot of success in getting the players you're looking for. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports.